Now we're going to be going over some terms. Here in geometry, we're going to be dealing with terms and the way we write them, the way we type what we're talking about, it's very, very important. So a point, first thing is going to be a point. Point, a thing we're familiar with, looks like a circle. It has no measurement. It's actually used to describe a place, right? A point. If I have many points, because I could have many points, I'm going to label them. One of them could be point A, point B, or point C. We tend to write the letter at the side. So let me just go like this. So point A, point B, and point C. I'm going to use letters, one letter of the alphabet for a point. As a matter of fact, I could even come in, let's say I have a figure, and I'm going to draw a figure here. I'm going to use this figure for, and let me put some points there. There's point A, point B, point C, point D, point E. Let me point, there's F, G. Actually, let me do another one here, G. So let me call this H, and there's I. So let me use a figure. Okay, so I could use point A. I could answer point A or just any point. I'm gonna call this, let's say point E. For a point, I could use any of them. Notice I'm only using one letter. Now, a line, we cannot draw a line. It's impossible to draw a line. We can do something that represents a line. Now, a line is something that goes on forever on both sides. I'm going to represent it with a little arrow. That is what we call a line. Now, for a line, for me to name a line, I'm going to need 2 points on the line. And I need it to go on forever. So one line, for example, here, I'm going to get any 2 points that are on the line. One of my lines that I'm going to do, I'm going to choose the points A and F. You notice how I have this line at the very beginning here on the left? I just chose 2 points that are on the line, and on top of it, I'm going to represent it like this. Notice my arrows on both sides. So I'm expressing that it goes on forever. So I have the line AF. So a line is something that goes on forever. It is straight and it goes on forever, both directions. It could go up and down, right or left, but just both directions, it goes on forever. I have examples here. Now, let me give you guys a wrong example. Wrong example. I cannot write AC, the line AC, because looking at my figure, it doesn't go on forever to the left. So that's why I said that's a wrong example. So let me erase that wrong example. Okay, is that the only line that we have? No. I could say the line BE. You guys see my line BE? Right? Look at the point B, look at the point E, and just go straight through them. I could also say the line BH. Now, the line BE and the line BH is the same line. In reality, it is the same line. It looks different because I use different letters, but the idea of a line is we're going to use 2 points on the line, any 2 points. So that's why I said the line BE and the line BH, it is the same line. Order of the letters doesn't matter. So EB, still the same line. HE, it is still the same line. Okay, now a line segment. We talk about line segments on our last homework when we're dealing with segment addition postulate. A line segment looks like a line, so it is straight. However, it has endpoints at the end. That's what a line is. It has endpoints at the end. When I look at an example here, I could go AB, or as a matter of fact, I could go AF. I'm gonna choose the points AF, but on the top, I'm gonna do my line segment. I'm gonna draw a line segment. Notice for line, I called it AF, and I said that was a line. And now AF, I'm calling it a segment. The difference is for a line, when this was a line, it did continue on forever. So I was talking about this whole thing and it continued on forever. That was the line AF. Now the segment AF is just this. It has a beginning and an end. It doesn't go on forever. That's the difference between the segment AF. Is that the only segment that we see on my picture? No. Another segment I could have said is the segment FG. I could also say the segment FI. Now I cannot say FB because I don't see a connection between FB. It's not there, so I'm going to connect it. Now we're going to move into array. Array is a combination of a line segment and a line. So it looks straight, kind of like a segment or line. It looks straight, but it has an endpoint on one side and it goes on forever on the other side. So I'm gonna, for example, I'm gonna go here and here. Now for array, I need 2 points on the rate. One of them is an endpoint, so that's good. Let me come up with another point there. Let's say I have the rate AB. There's A and B. As a matter of fact, you can see the rate on my picture. There's still on the picture, there's still the point C. In reality, I just need 2 points from the rate. My first point, my first point of the two has to be the one side that has an endpoint. So in this case, A. So I can call this the ray AB or the ray AC. It is the same thing. It is the same figure. It's the same ray. When I call it AB, I'm saying it starts at 8 and goes through B. So it starts at 8 and it goes through B. When I call it AC, I'm saying it starts at 8 and goes through C. So that's why I said it is the same ray. Now plane, we're looking at plane, it's a flat surface. Remember when you guys were in Algebra 1 and there was like an X and a Y axis when you guys started learning how to plot points, your teacher called that a coordinate plane because it was a flat surface. So plane is a flat surface. When I'm looking at here, my figured is on a flat surface. Now, for a plane, for me to name this plane, I'm gonna choose three letters that are not connected in a line. Any three letters there, so I can call this the plane A, B, I. So we'll call this plane ABI. Lastly, let's take a look at an angle. An angle is a corner, right? There's a corner. We need a point at the corner, which we're going to call the vertex. That's very, very important. And on each side of the angle, I need 2 points. Well, 1 point on each side. They don't have to be at the corner. I could, like at the end of the segment, I could have it there, but on this one, not at the end. Let me label these 3 points. Let me just call this A, B, and C. Or better yet, let me change the labels of this. Let me call this A, F, and H. If I connect those 3 points, I come up with a corner. The way I'm gonna name an angle, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna draw the figure of an angle, and then I'm gonna go in order. A, F, H. Now, if I call this angle HFA, it is the same corner, the same angle. I'm just saying in which order am I connecting the letters. So A, so start at A, F, H. So A, F, H. I get that corner. But what if I go H, F, A? Start at H, F, A. Now, if I call it F, A, H, it's not the same corner. Because connect the letters in that order, F, A, H, and that will give you the corner, the angle that I'm talking about. So looking at our figure here, I have the angle FAB. Look at FAB. So in your mind, connect F with A and B. Let me highlight them. FAB. You see that corner that was created? Good. What if I say FHE? So FHE. Okay, created a corner. That's good. How about CBH? I'm going to start a CBH. Good. So this is how we're going to label it. So part of your homework, I'm going to give you a figure and I want to ask you, is this a line segment? Is it a point? Is it a plane? Is it a ray? Is it an angle? And I might just give you the name. Boom. Part of your homework is might be like this. I want us to know that a line goes on forever on both sides. A segment has two endpoints. A ray has an endpoint and an arrow on one side. I want us to know a plane is a flat surface, and I want us to know an angle is a corner. So your homework, you're going to be working on that. And another one, I'm going to give you a picture like this, and then I might say, name an angle. And then I'm going to give choices. And you're going to tell me which one is it naming an angle. I might say, name a segment. Remember, segment, I mean line segment. So you're going to see it, and you're going to tell me which one names a line segment. Name a point. Remember, for point, I only need one letter. So you guys will practice on that.